Welcome, everyone. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. My name is Alan Fernandez. I'm the constant exec of the Student Activities Board. And on behalf of them and on behalf of Messiah Pulse, thank you so much for tuning in. With me today, I have the guys from Magic, and we're going to be doing a little
Hello.
Q&A. If you guys want to introduce yourselves.
Sure, I'm Nasri.
I'm Mark.
I'm Ben.
I'm Alex.
Very nice. Cool. We're going to go ahead and get into these questions. Let's go ahead and get started.
Let's get into it, baby.
Let's do it.
So the first question is, how did you guys become Magic? What led each of you to want to be a part of this?
Well, we all have our stories, and I mean, mine, before Magic, I was a songwriter. I used to write for a lot of artists, doing a lot of stuff for radio and kind of a lot of international acts. And I met Mark at the studio one day, and I was just like, man, we should start a band. I always had this idea for this kind of fusion of reggae and pop and rock, and it was just the right fit, so we just made the move.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to get into production and songwriting. I'd been doing some stuff, and I had actually met Nasri years before, and at a show he came to see, and then I went to LA, and we started working together, and there was an immediate chemistry, we became friends super fast, and we started working together on a bunch of music and everything, and I was friends with Alex before. We played in the same band together, and actually I played in the band with Ben too. We were buddies as well from Toronto. So we this whole band just came together very organically and naturally. It was didn't feel like anything was forced or pushed. We just had the right people, and everyone just sort of fit in perfectly.
Mark is my friend.
Sweet, thanks, bro.
I was actually we got into the band, me, Nasri, and Mark were together for a bit, and we needed a bass player. And I was a big fan of this guy in Toronto named Ben. So then we got him in there.
Yeah.
Nah, but yeah, seriously.
Yeah, I mean, the guys, have been touring for years and doing stuff, and so there was a lot of experience with us, but also we still had the drive to be our own artist.
Awesome. That's what's up. So the next question is, you guys have stated in other interviews that you seek to become a modern-day Police in a way. So could you just share what about that band made you draw so much influence in your art, and in your lives as artists?
I think it's just simply the same fusion, the rock, reggae, soul, and pop kind of mixed together, and that's it. I mean, really, and they're a great band who writes consistently great songs and makes creative albums. And for us, that's aside from them breaking up after like 6 years, we don't want that part, but
Right.
It's just having the same similarities in the sound. We're gonna have our own songs,
Right.
so we'll kind of mold our own artistic future together. But we do respect the similarity in the sound.
Yeah, and with that fusion, what in particular got you so interested in that? Because I think that's a really eclectic mix of pop, reggae, and rock and roll, and how in your music it's clearly evident you have distinct draw from each of those genres. So what interests you about wanting to do that
I
fusion?
think pop is good because pop is when you start to get catchy, right? So there's the catchy, the sticky part. I think the reggae is allows you to be kind of sensual, but at the same time fun. It's weird. Reggae has this effect on music, and then the rock allows you to have to rock out,
Yeah.
to take it there. And I think that's the blend of Magic. It's the quirkiness with the kind of sensuality, with the ability to be powerful at the same time. We could choose, excuse me, one of those directions at any time we want, and they all seem to work together in a song.
Right. It's awesome. And another thing that you guys have been critically acclaimed for is your songwriting. You guys have a lot of positivity in your lyrics and a lot of feel-good lyrics as well, and just really well-written stuff. One song in particular that we here at the office listened to was Mama Didn't Raise No Fool.
Sweet.
We heard that song, and we heard something distinct within it, and it just seemed in sync still, but different from the rest. Could you talk a little bit about the process of writing that song and what led you to write that song and put that in your album?
Well, Mama Didn't Raise No Fool, thank you, by the way. But Mama Didn't Raise No Fool was written actually before the band came together. That was written about 6 years ago, when the idea all started, and our producer, Adam Messenger, and our production team called The Messengers. And we'd done a lot of writing for people, and one day, it was my birthday, and I was like, bro, I want to do, like, this kind of reggae rock thing, like a policey thing, just having some fun. And then this kind of, like, this vibe kicked into me that was just more natural than I really had ever felt before. Um, and I was in that situation in my life where I was like, should I be with this woman? You know? And I was like, well, mama ain't raised no fool. And I found that catchphrase and I started writing. And I remember going for a drive on the 101 in Los Angeles and just writing lyrics. I was like, I'm going to go for a drive. I want to like feel the groove of this. And sometimes it helps to drive, or sometimes I'll, run, skateboard, anything to move. And I just started like, mama, once in a lifetime. I was like this play on words with, once in a lifetime, nights full of one times, and just kind of stating the fact that when you have a good thing, you need to hold on to it, and using the kind of mom ain't raised no fool to have a fun way of saying like I'm in, and then in the bridge it says, I loved you right from the get. And I think that that's a part of love. You feel very comfortable around somebody right from the beginning. Friendship, love. I felt very comfortable around Mark and Ben and Alex. I kind of knew something was there with the guys, and I know something is there when I meet fans, and the fans have this instant love for you, and you just are very comfortable around them. And I look for that when I write, that comfort.
Awesome, thanks for sharing that, for sure. So along with Mama and Raised No Fool, there's a couple other songs in the end of the album where there seems to be a shift in the tone. Earlier in the album is a lot of stories of romance and stories of interactions with this girl, and there seems to be a shift in the end. Could you elaborate a bit on that shift, specifically with Mama and Raised No Fool, and How Do You Want to Be Remembered? Those are, again, another song that stuck out to us.
Sure. How Do You Want to Be Remembered is a song, one of the last songs we did, and I had this idea, and I was always going through my head, and I remember I was in Barcelona working with Shakira, who we had done on her latest album on a song called Cut Me Deep, and I was like, I had this idea, and then I was just like, there was a vibe going on in Barcelona. I was sitting there with guitar, it was like 2 in the morning, and I started playing with it, and I just started learning how to play the guitar. Mark had been kind of showing me stuff on the guitar, and I was like, and I tried this like kind of like James Taylor folky walk down thingy, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then I shared it, and I said, guys, I think I figured out what this song's about. I think it's about your legacy. And the guys, were like, let's go for it. And then everybody, does their thing, and I wrote the lyrics, and everybody put their parts in, and we did this like harmony thing where we were all in the room together doing this like cool harmony thing, and we were like, let's just leave it about the lyrics and about the emotion. And I remember Mark came in at the end and put this great guitar that tied everything together, brought the emotion of it. And it's a really important song because the song is stating that every step you take matters, and I'm also being vulnerable in it. I'm saying I feel like I go to sleep with demons and stuff that people don't want to talk about, but it's obviously all around us. You could feel darkness, but you don't want to feel it, and music's a good way to kind of get it out. And so that song is always great to sing because you feel like you can release a bit of yourself.
Yeah, and that's actually a great segue, because one of the things that we noticed is that as we're listening, some of the people here in the office were saying, are they talking about spirituality here? Like, what's going on here? Because of that intimacy, because of that closeness you were bringing with us in the lyrics, we were looking at the lyrics themselves and the language used, and we were thinking, wait, are we interpreting this also as like maybe spiritual or spirituality or something along those lines?
It is. It's connected to both. It's connected to the physical and the spiritual. It's also connected to the lustful side of you. When I say, do I reach for love only when she says she's leaving? Am I really a good guy? It's a questioning yourself. You're questioning your life. You're evaluating yourself.
Right.
And spiritually, your spirit is always connected. So you're always talking from a spiritual angle. Even when any lyric in any song is connected to your spirit, because your spirit is the part of you that decides whether you're comfortable or not.
Right.
You could be sitting in first class, with every amenity you want and everything you want on the nicest plane, with the best meal you've ever had, but the guy beside you could just have this vibe, and your whole thing goes away. Every comfort you have goes away.
Mm.
Or you could have just read something that throws you off, and all those comforts, they go away. So it is about personal evaluation more than anything. This song about your spirit, your mind, and your physicality.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And I need to ask this. Could you share with us a song that you've seen your fans really connect with and really love to see perform, aside from the fan favorite Rude? Like,
Sure.
what other songs we have that people have been jamming out to and loving the experience?
Well, it's pretty amazing because we've actually got a lot of positive feedback live from a lot of the songs. At first, people had only been exposed to Rude, so they were singing along with that, and they got really into that, and we sort of felt like, oh, this is the only song people can really relate to. But now, since the album's been released, people are singing the lyrics to every song. It seems like some of the fan favorites are "Let Your Hair Down" and "No Way No," but we hear
And don't kill.
and "Don't Kill the Magic." We hear positive things about a lot of the material, and that makes us feel great because actually, when we were recording this album, we wanted to make an album full of songs that we all really believed in, as opposed to having some really good songs on there and then just a bunch of filler compositions that are kind of just helping to fill up the time. We didn't want that, so we really took the time. And I know every group probably says that, but we really did obsess over that, and we rewrote things. Nazir actually rewrote songs. I mean, Rude got rewritten 3 times, on that one, and that's just one song. Other songs underwent a similar process. So yeah, but we're just stoked that people love our music. You guys want to add to that?
That was good.
Yeah.
People are good.
People
Awesome,
are good.
awesome. So this upcoming spring, you guys have a huge opportunity in that you'll be opening for Maroon 5 on
Yeah.
tour. How excited are you guys for that? Could you share on the excitement you got from being asked to do that? What are your feelings about having the opportunity?
The amazing thing is that when we started as a band, we just sat and we said, what kind of band do we want to be? What kind of bands would we want to open for? Without exaggeration, the first band we all said was Maroon 5.
Wow.
And so here we are, it's like a year and a bit later, and it's like it's actually happening. So there's a part of us that's like, that's incredible.
Mhm.
There's a part that says that also teaches you a really valuable lesson, which is like, if you really decide to do something, you can make it happen. Like, that's pretty cool. So we are super, super excited, not only to be opening for a band like that, to be playing venues like Madison Square Garden and United Center in Chicago, and all the different arenas that we've been to shows at and seen baseball or basketball games at, and it's very exciting.
I mean, for me, I'm very much into right now. I'm just kind of back to the old Stevie Wonder stuff.
Mhm.
Just think that he's just another level. But also, I'm taking an actual online music course right now,
Okay.
learning more musical theory and stuff that a lot of stuff that I didn't get to do, and just I want to really advance my whole musical scope.
Yeah, I'm trying to do that too. We're all just trying to educate ourselves as much as possible and learn new things about music. And we have been on this Michael Jackson tip for quite a while. I got the whole Off the Wall album. I didn't have it from before, and I've been listening to the thing straight. Just not picking off my favorite songs. I just turn it on, listen to the whole thing, and it's just fire the entire way through. It's funky dunky, amazing guitar riffs, amazing horn lines, beautiful vocals that just make you think like, will I ever sing like that? And the answer is no. I'll never sing like that. I will try to, but I'll never get there. And but I just love hearing the vulnerability in Michael's voice, and just the production is just crazy. And yeah.
It's funny, we walked in this room, you got this Bob Dylan poster up there.
Mhm.
I've been listening to some.
Poster.
I go through phases with Bob, So I get really intense with it, and then I'm like, okay, I gotta put that away. But it's usually, lately it's been the album Blonde on Blonde.
Mm.
Or,
Does he play the bass?
not really.
He's just holding the bass in
He's
that
just
picture.
holding the bass. It's a bass that I would kill to own.
His
I want
right
that
hand
bass.
is in the wrong place, and his left hand is the wrong place.
Right. I want that bass though. I'll have that bass. But yeah, Blonde on Blonde, and the other one is called,
The chord makes
I forget now, it's the one with Tangled Up in Blue on it, and I don't remember, but they're both, those are kind of my 2 favorite Dylan albums. The lyrics are ridiculous, and they're kind of not, they're about as poppy as Bob Dylan ever got. There's some good hooks on there.
Mhm.
I keep playing this one song by this guy named Ja Cure.
Oh,
He's a
yeah.
reggae artist from Jamaica, and I played it sort of too much. I think I know the guy.
In Your Arms of Love.
Yeah, To Your Arms with Love.
To Your Arms.
But I've been listening to a lot of different reggae music. Magic has actually really, brought magic, obviously reggae to the forefront of all of our lives and stuff. And in my mind, I've been really listening. I've been, just checking out different reggae artists and stuff. I'm also really interested in music that has reggae influence, like Magic, but is like a twist on it. And there's a lot of like UK artists, like Massive Attack and James Blake, that take like dub reggae elements and put it into different genres of music.
Right.
So that's really cool, and that's something that I'm into right now.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for doing
Thanks
this.
for
Thank you so much on behalf of SAB, The Pulse, and all of Messiah. Thank you for performing here tonight, and we're so excited to see you guys.
Thank you.
For the rest of you watching this, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please keep tabs with us on Twitter, Facebook, all the organizations involved. We'll be having more Q&As like this, more great artists like this, and thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day.
You can catch us on ournameismagic.com.
There you go, and pick up their album. It seriously is a dope album. Go do that.
Thanks.
Cool.